Okay, hey, welcome. John is here and I'm recording this so everyone can refer to it if needed. My primary purpose for being here is to answer your questions. So let's just start and see if John has any questions. If not, I have a few things I wanted to talk to you guys about that I'll just launch into. Did you have anything in particular, Jonna? John is frozen.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I think the low carb piece. Can you see me now?
Yeah, the low carb piece.
Yeah, that's a bit of a cluster for me. I don't know if other people struggled with it. I was glad you posted like what you ate. Like I was thinking, I need some like more, because I was trying to do the sample meals on their thing, but I didn't feel like those were great to give me a really good idea. I mean, I'm sure I'll get the hang of it, but I was like, these were my least favorite days so far, at least for me.
Yeah. I agree. It's hard. They're harder for me, and my main go-to sources of healthy fat all have to do with coconuts because since we're doing dairy-free, I tend to eat chia seed pudding made with full-fat coconut milk. I do make fat bombs, which I make with coconut oil and nut butter are the primary ingredients. And then this is more of a wintertime thing, but I sometimes have what I call a coconut milk steamer, which is just like a half a can of coconut milk that I've heated, and I've put in some sort of either liquid stevia or I've been recently using Swerve, which is approved by the Faster Way. It's an alcohol sugar, erythritol. It's a naturally occurring 0-calorie sweetener. And then I put in either vanilla, almond extract, or both, and I drink it like a hot, like a hot beverage.
Yeah.
Those are ways I kind of boost up my fats. Is that the same problem you're having, that you're not getting enough fats?
No, I actually went over on fats, maybe because I miscalculated like an avocado or like a half avocado or something. But it was just more the balancing of it and not, making sure I got the right amount of carbs and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, just keeping those carbs low enough.
It's surprising what has carbs. Like
I know.
Like cucumber. What? Cucumber has carbs? All right, I'll have tomatoes. They have less. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot. I am. I just haven't been able to like synthesize it all yet.
Yeah, it's definitely a learning experience, and I do want to say that doing it imperfectly while striving to do it is still going to give you success. So I want to encourage you that I mean, it's hard. It's a learning thing from the beginning, but even, I want to like show people my fitness pal, but I, ate a piece of cheese or something. And so I, don't want to show it because it's like not perfect. But even doing things imperfectly, I feel like people
Like
get
getting
good
kind of
results.
close is better. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the Faster Way says plus or minus 10 grams on each macronutrient. They consider that hitting it. I more think of plus or minus 10% because with us having so many more carbs to work with than we have fats, it seems like plus or minus 10 grams, to me, it makes more sense to be 10%. So that's kind of my rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I'll
then
have to
I eat
try
a
the
lot of
fat bombs next week.
Yeah.
Those look yummy.
Yeah, they're really good. I usually just have one, but today I had two. I was like, whoo, glad I could fit it in. Okay. Do you want me to just tell you a few things I wanted to say, and then you can think about if you have any more questions?
Sure.
Okay. I just wanted to kind of recap what everyone should be doing each day. So each day in the morning, there's the daily thread. That is the thing that is coming straight from the Faster Way. Things that I post in the afternoon are optional. Those are just like my tips, my recommendations, a web link I think you might like, a recipe, a story of another client I've had and their transformation picture. So that's all. If you are pressed for time, just look for that daily post in the morning. And then I'm trying to do an email once a week, so you can be looking in your inbox. That's kind of a recap of the week. I haven't ever done them every week, but I'm shooting for that this time, so hopefully I'll do that. And then each day we're wanting you to, there is additional training material, which is the same topic as the daily post, but there's more to read about it in the portal and in the app. And it's the same thing. So you can just go one place or the other. And ideally, you'd read that every day. Some people just read the whole week, at one sitting. And then there is a workout each day you also find in the app or the portal. And then we're hoping people will strive to do the workouts, but they do say that 90% of the results come from the nutritional plan. So that's kind of like a recap of what people should be doing each day. On Friday and Sunday, those are days of rest or active recovery. So basically, you don't have to do a workout that day. You can totally rest, but there is an option to do one if you wanted to. And then I wanted to talk about just, so we talked about intermittent fasting. We're trying to fast for 16 hours and eat for 8 hours. So we're trying to be doing that daily. We are trying to eat whole food nutrition. If you're wanting to use some packaged foods, you should be reading the ingredients, and hopefully all the ingredients are whole foods themselves. So then that would still count as a whole food. And then we are tracking macros through MyFitnessPal, and we are trying to hit within plus or minus 10 grams is what the fast away says. I personally think plus or minus 10%. And then we are carb cycling for the rest of the time together. On Monday and Tuesday, we'll be eating low carb, and the other days we'll be eating what we call regular macro. So that's the higher carb, lower fat. So that's sort of what you might be more used to with like if you've tried other programs that have to do with fat loss before. Those are more sort of typical days. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on had to do with, I've been reading a lot on habits and changing behaviors. And what I've come to the realization is that there are 3 ways to change your behavior. The easiest way is to change it's easy to actually maintain fidelity to the behavior change if you just change your environment. So just say you want to only eat whole foods. So to change your environment, you would get rid of anything in your home that is not a whole food, and you'd only bring in whole foods. And that way you'd be ensuring that you're eating only whole foods. So one way is to change your environment. The second way, which I want everyone to be working on, is establishing habits. They've done some research studies on people who have maintained either fitness or weight loss programs over a long term, like 5+ years, where they've lost just say 30 pounds or more and then maintained it for 5 years. And the key differentiator between people who succeeded and people who didn't succeed, a lot of people might think, oh, it's willpower, but it's not willpower. It's the habits that they put in place. So it was like not that they have to make themselves do it every time through willpower. They just made these changes stick through establishment of habits. So I want you to think about what habits you can implement in order to keep this good behavior going. And then the third thing, which is the most difficult thing to change, but I alluded to it in last week's call, because I started mentioning talking to yourself and thinking of a script to say to yourself. And that is changing your identity. So if you believe you are a healthy person, or you believe you are a person who works out every day, that is one way to establish long-term change. But it's difficult to change your identity. And every time you do a behavior, you're basically voting with your behavior what your identity is. So if you're eating all whole foods and you are convinced that's healthy, and you're telling yourself, this is who I am, I'm a person who only eats whole foods, then when you go to the Super Bowl party and there's, whatever unhealthy foods, it's easier to resist because you say to yourself, oh, I don't eat that because I'm a healthy person who only eats whole foods. So I want you to each start thinking of scripts you can say to yourself, which will be when you do what you want to do, you say the script. So when you're eating an apple, you say to yourself that script, and each of us would have our own unique script that would say, I'm eating this apple because I care about myself, and I'm a healthy person who eats whole foods, that sort of thing. So I want you guys to be thinking about, because I don't want this to be a 6 weeks that we're together, I'm confident everyone who does what we recommend is going to have great success these 6 weeks. But I want this to be something that will propel you into your whole future, and actually be a factor in, if for those of you who are wanting to lose weight or build muscle, that you'll actually do that over time. And also the healthy aging piece, that moving your body and eating healthily leads to healthy aging. I'm hoping that this 6 weeks together will then catapult you into a future of, healthy behavior that doesn't just end at the end of the 6 weeks. So those were the kind of reflections I wanted to share. Jonna, I appreciate you coming to the call. If you have any other questions, I can address them.
I know Frank started, he's like, I'm going to try intermittent fasting this week. So I mean, he's eating whatever he wants, in his time. He's not like
Right.
doing the whole food thing. But he just said, oh, I'm going to try that and see if it works. So, but he
Yeah.
didn't sleep much last night. So it was a bit of a struggle this morning. But then after like 9 o'clock, he's like, oh, I'm fine,
Yeah.
So he's
I remember Yaz was the first one in our household who tried it. And when she said it, I was like, that sounds cuckoo. But I didn't realize how much science was behind it. Yeah. And
does she
Paul,
still do it?
her, when she came to us, she already was a little bit more like that than I ever was. She's not a big breakfast person. I don't think she does it like on purpose, keeping the time, but she sort of does it. And Paul started doing it before I did as well, because when Yaz started doing it, then he did a little research and he decided to try it. So I think he does more of like a 14-hour than a 16-hour, but
It works
he's,
well for him.
yeah, he's gotten some great, I mean, he wasn't even really trying to lose weight, but he kind of inadvertently did. And then I think it's been a good thing for all of us. So,
Yeah.
but I don't think kids under 18 should do it. So I'll put that out there.
Olivia would never try, and she's 27, but she wakes up and eats. So there's no way she's going to do it yet. Anyways, I don't think she
Yeah.
needs, she's pretty.
Yeah.
She's
I
fine
think I never aspired to it, but I do think that the results I've gotten, especially with like, I feel like my sort of like a bloating that I've always had, has cleared up. So of course I changed a lot of things at the same time. So it's hard to say what exact component might be
Right.
responsible. But I think it's a lot of it is the intermittent fasting. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious, like after a longer period of time, what it'll be like. But I've been 4 days now without any symptoms from being sick, 4 days in a row. So I'm pretty excited. Um, I still haven't amped up my exercising yet. I'm just still walking and not too much, because when I started like amping up even the walking, then I kind of had a setback. So and I'm on the Slack channel with people that like have suspected COVID or whatever, have long-term symptoms. And everyone that had setbacks tried to exercise too soon. So I was just like, okay, I can just wait on this. So I like that you say like 90% of it is really the nutrition and the intermittent fasting, because, then I feel like, okay, because I do feel like I'm missing out not doing, some of the workouts, but it's so nice to feel good.
yeah.
And I think it's also time. Obviously each week I was slowly getting better, but I think it's also, of course, eating well like I am right now. Who knows if intermittent fasting has influenced it. And then I started taking a supplement as well. Of this, I think it's called reishi mushrooms or something. And if you have an infection, it's supposed to boost your immune system. So really shortly after I started taking that was the first day that I felt really good. But then I had a little bit of a dip, and then I've been good. So
Yeah, I'm glad you're feeling better. I'm sorry you've had such a long
It's been so weird.
Mhm.
So weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. My
I
brain
do
is
think,
also hmm,
what were you saying? Your brain?
my brain has just been kind of fuzzy too.
Mhm.
Not all the time, but like off and on. What were you gonna say you do think?
Oh, just that I think that eating the whole foods has a positive impact, in terms of
Mhm.
like getting recovering from illness as well.
Yeah.
And I've had reflux over the years and most of my adult life, and it basically has cleared up. So I feel, and I that's what I attribute it to in terms of all the different components of the faster way. I feel like it's likely the whole food nutrition that's helping me with my reflux, but I guess it could possibly be the also the dairy and the gluten. But
Yeah, probably the dairy, the whole foods, and giving your whole digestive system that break on the fast.
Mhm.
Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? That comes to rest. I can well imagine that that would help. It'll be interesting to see because Frank is not going to tremendously change the way he eats. Like tonight, I made zoodles with like a pesto sauce and some chicken, and
mhm,
then they ate it on angel hair pasta with cheese and whatever. So
mhm.
it's not like he's really eating. I mean, he's still eating good food. There's nothing wrong with that, but not food I can eat. So it'll be interesting to see because he has pretty bad GERD. So it'll be interesting to see if even just the intermittent fasting changes that at all. I'll let you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know. In the VIP membership community, we actually have one 24-hour fast per month, and
Hmm.
it starts after dinner one day, and then the next day we break the fast with dinner. So it's not like you're not eating the whole day. Um,
That's always the way I've fasted, basically, either lunch to lunch or dinner to dinner. I don't do like breakfast to breakfast. That like doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and there's some research on the health benefits of that are different than intermittent fasting. But we used to have that in the new client round. We did two 24-hour fasts, but they've dropped that. And now it's just in this later
Hmm.
iteration. So
So how often do you do the 24-hour fast?
they do it once a month. It's considered optional. So I
Mhm.
frequently do a 20-hour fast. I've recently
Mhm.
haven't really been doing very many 24-hour fasts, but I consider that a win anyway.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
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 So, yeah, my new clients who came into the VIP that didn't know, like, basically, most of my clients who were in VIP did the 24-hour fast in their new client round. So then when they came around in that every month, they're not surprised. But recently, my newer
New people.
clients, they were like, "You didn't tell us
What?
about this. What did we sign up for?" But
Oh,
it's pretty cool to do it, with a whole bunch of other people. So, okay, well, it's been great chatting with you, Jonna. And I'm going to turn off the recording and I'll post this to the group. And I'm proud of all of you guys for, investing in your own health and trying this out. And it sounds like it's going pretty well.
all right. Thanks, Tracy.
Okay, thanks, Jonna. Bye bye.
Bye.